Hey Flosstube! My name is Lynn and I'm here with my channel Those Missing Stitches. You can also find me as Those Missing Stitches on Instagram and in my Etsy shop. Today is Friday, November 3rd, and this is my Flosstube number 11 where I talk all about all things cross stitch and crafty. Today I'm going to share with you, I have a finish, I have a couple of new starts, I'm going to go through some of my whips that I've been working on since my last video. I also have a giveaway, a couple new patterns, and some plans for some things that I plan to do in the next couple months. So first I want to start off by saying did do a giveaway, announced the winner in my last video. I have not heard from her. That was Adrienne Weibel. So if I don't hear from her before I film my next video, which should be the beginning of December, I'm going to give away 2 pieces of fabric with this next giveaway that I announce at the end of this video. So stay tuned to the end of the video to enter into the next giveaway. I'll give away a piece of fabric from my shop, or 2, depending on whether I hear from the last winner. You can pick any fabric count and any color that's available in the shop, and I will send it to you as a free gift. So along those lines, I do have 2 new colors that I released this month. I don't have any samples with me, but I'll put like pictures of what the colors look like. They're very festive. Felt like I needed a red and a green for Christmas. So the first one is actually Grouchy Grinch. And as you know, all of my colors are named after literary characters. Second one is named Sybil Cindy Lou. Both of these characters, of course, are in How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Very festive holiday spirit book. All about the holidays and something I grew up reading. So it's very nostalgic for me, and these colors really remind me of everything Christmas. So the good and the greed and the everything else and everything coming together to just be, you know, the holiday magic. So those are new in the shop. If you're interested, go check them out. Okay, that's it for the little commercial. I'm going to start off by showing you I did have a finish. I'm so excited. I just started this in July, so I'm excited to actually have it finished. This is The Haunted Library. This is, the artist is Lola Crow Cross Stitch, and I stitched this on 18 count fiber on a whim milk and honey 2/1 full cross. And here is my finish. This was such a fun stitch, and it's so awesome. Like, the colors are just so vibrant in person. It's hard to show on the video, but man, this was awesome. And I did get a frame for it. I have to re-iron it and actually frame it. The frame's here. I just need to actually put it together. I do intend to put this up in my office at the library where I work at a local university. I think that I don't care if it's up all year. I think it's awesome for a library photo. So that one's going up on display. Yay, finish. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to go next to my new starts. So I did start a couple of new patterns. This one's got a backstory. So this is actually Briar, a steampunk fairy. The artist is MJP and is charted by Pain Free Crafts. I intended to do this with the background removed and do it on some dyed fabric. And I had dyed a couple of different colors, and then I started it and realized I started it way too close to the corner or to the edge. I wasn't going to have enough edge, so I flipped it over and restarted and did another couple hundred stitches, and then I realized I having a really hard time seeing like the neutral colors on the neutral fabric. But I really wanted to stitch this, so I'm just like, I'm just going to do gridded fabric. I'm just going to do the background. I'll figure it out. It's still really light neutral colors on a white background, but I decided to do 25 count Easy Guide Lugana. And here is my progress. I think this will look really cool. It's a lot easier. It's still hard to see because it's light colors on light colors, but it's a lot easier than it was on like a beigey taupe background. So what I have done so far on this is 2,082 stitches for 1.3%. And I'm doing 10 stitch on this one. Okay. My next new start, I saw this one. It was new in an Etsy shop, and it gives me all the, like, I love Day of the Dead, I love fall colors, and I really, really love blue. So this was kind of a combination of all those things, but I'm leery about some Etsy patterns and whether, like, how realistic they're going to look, especially when it comes to faces. So I decided to try it, but I wanted to stitch the eye first. So this is called Day of the Dead Katrina, and it's charted by Zana Cross Stitch on Etsy. I decided to start it on 25 count easy grid Lugana, and I'm doing it 2/110, and I started with the eye so I could see how realistic it looks, and oh my goodness, it looks gorgeous. Look at that eye. So I love those colors too. This one I have done a total of 3,845 stitches for 3.2%. So I still have a ways to go, but at least I know I did that section and it looks realistic and I'm okay with continuing. Okay, my next new start, I blame this one on Michelle Hudson of Sacramento, California. So we were at the local stitchy group, and we were just showing, it ends up being kind of a shop fest because we all want to get each other's patterns. And somebody was saying they wanted Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. And I said, oh, I have that one. I've had it charted up for a really long time, or I've had it kitted up for a really long time. I have the fabric I want to use. I have all the threads already kitted up. And she just said, well, it's not doing you any good being kitted up. Why don't you start it as a Halloween start? So this was my Halloween start. Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I am stitching this on 18 count Admirable Atticus from my shop as 2/1 full cross. And oh my goodness, I love it. Pardon the thread, but I didn't want to actually end it. So it's kind of hanging there. I love it. I love stitching on this color so much. I realized last night when I was stitching on it, I'm going to use this color for another restart that I want to do, and I'll show that later in my plans. I'm really I think what it is about these is compared to full coverage, you can do a handful of stitches or do 20 minutes of stitching and actually see a pattern emerge and see a picture emerge. And full coverage, I feel like I stitch on it for days and days and days and still don't see anything, any sort of shape or visibility. So I think I'm going to focus a little more next year on more samplers or things like this that are easier to finish or see things that bring me joy, seeing things coming out of them. So this one I think will be part of my plans for the next few months, and it'll be on my rotation. Okay, that was it for the new starts. Now I'm going to go to my classics, things I've already started and shown before. I'm going to start with what was my focus piece for this year, the Grand Library. This is the regular size max color version of the chart. The artist is Amy Stewart and is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am stitching this one on 18 count Easy Guide Lugana. No, Easy Guide Ada. And I'm doing 2/1 full cross. I was going 2 pages at a time across the shelves, and I did the first full shelf. I did half of the second shelf, and then I got bored of those colors, so I went down and went into the romance section, and then I was kind of bored of those colors or really just needed a different way to approach this. So I decided to move down and get into the mystery section and kind of alternate highest number and lowest number of stitch counts in that area. And I think that helped a little bit. It motivated me again to be working on it. So here's where I'm at. This is the everything I've added since my last video is down here in this mystery section. Probably from the shelf down. So since my last video, I've added 2,073 stitches, and in total on this whole piece, I'm at 44.09%, which is 177,588 stitches. I'm going to open it up because I so rarely have it out of the Q-snap. So you can see I did the whole top shelf, part of the second shelf, and now I'm working my way down. And that's the bottom. Or I'm not quite at the bottom. I think there's still a few more, maybe 30 or 40 more down to the bottom. So not a ton. But I think because this is so massive and heavy and so much work and it takes so long to see anything come out of it, I'm not going to worry about it or make a goal for myself for next year. It may just be going on a back burner for a little while until I get motivated to work on it again. And work on some smaller pieces in the meantime. But we'll see. I imagine it'll still come out every month, but it might still be, it might just be, you know, a few hundred stitches or a couple of, I might just have a goal of like doing a color or two from those pages and that'll be fine. So, that's a grand library. Definitely not going to be my focus piece for 2024, but will probably still be in the rotation. Okay, I'm back. I had a total brain fart there and couldn't remember if I had shown this one in my last video, so I had to go back and check. This was something I started in September. My next whip is Tonight We Ride by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This was in their 2022 Halloween box, and at the end of this video I'm going to show you, I did get their 2023 Halloween box, so I'll show it to you as part of my haul. But they did release, at like mid-September, end of September, they released the PDF and the paper version of this chart from last year's box, and I loved it. I started it at the end of September, pretty much right away. On 18 count genuine Jillian from my shop. I'm doing it 2/1 full cross. This is where I was in my last video. I just started on the first witch, and since then I've moved the Q snap and I'm over and have done the moon, the second witch, some additional bats, and I've started on the outline of this witch over here, and then I've been working on outlining them first, and then I go back and fill it in because then I don't have to follow the chart. So since my last video, I have done 3,546 stitches, and in total on this, I'm at 4,176 for 27.96%. It's a super fun stitch and it's easy. It's going pretty quick. I know there's going to be a lot of like black when I get into the houses, but I think I'll do the same and just outline it and then fill it in, and it'll be easy to like take in the car or take as a travel piece for some of the travel I'm doing in November. That's my first Halloween piece. Next is All Hallows Eve. This is by Joan Elliott Designs, and I'm stitching this one on 25 count Lugana called Brave Boromir. That's also from my shop. Here's where I was in the last video. Definitely made some progress since the last video, and I'm down in the next section. Here's where I am now. Since my last video, I have done 3,706 stitches, but I don't know, because it's not totally pattern keeper compatible. I can mark off stitches, but I don't know the total number of stitches, so I don't know the percentage. But this one's a fun one too. It's just a little harder because it's 25 count. It's a harder one to see, and I'm doing 1/1 full cross. It's a little harder to see without like a direct light, so I don't work on it quite as much. Don't take it with me to travel or anything. It's something I only work on at home. But I think we'll see. I was thinking now that Halloween's over, it may get put away, but I don't know. It's kind of a fun one, so that one may stay around too. I just stitch whatever like floats my boat. I look at my either look in Pattern Keeper or look at the Blitz Stitch app, and which I have pictures of everything that I'm working on in there as well, and just go, oh, that one appeals to me. That's what I'm going to work on. Okay, now off to my non-Halloween whips. This is the Abby Sue Designs Mugshot Villain Stitch Along, which I've been very excited about. First two villains have been released. Before, in my last video, we just had the border, and this is where I was in the last video. And the first two villains have been released. Here's where I am now. Just have the hair to finish up here, and then the name placard. And I think I am going to go back and do like the dark gray stripes so it still looks like a mugshot background. But I'm not going to fill in the rest of the white because I want to be able to see the fabric. This fabric is one that I created just for the stitch along, and it is available in my shop. It is called Epically Evil Fairy Godmother. It's a green with like purple accents. So I specifically made it for like Disney villain type greens and purples. So that one, also not fully Pattern Keeper compatible, but I can import it and mark off my stitches. So I think I have done an additional 2,077-ish. There's a lot of fractional stitches. So some of them I'm counting, some of them I'm not because I'm not doing the second side, but you know, somewhere in there. It is a lot of stitching for 1 week. Each fill-in is 1 week. So I am like 99.9% sure I'm not going to be able to keep up with this as the next ones get released over the next few months, especially with the holidays. But I'm going to try. This is fun to stitch as well. I love seeing, once all the back stitching, like seeing it come together. It looks so cool. So cool in real life. Okay, that's Mugshot Villains. The next two are my other pieces that have been whipped for a while. One of my favorites, Night Circus Lovely #7. This may become my focus piece for next year. This is, the artist is Jessica Jackson, and it's charted by the Sewing Shop Inc. I'm stitching this one on 25 count Easy Guide Lugana. Here's where I was the last time I showed this. I'm stitching this one 3/1 10 stitch just to test it out, and so far I'm liking it. I'm liking how thick the coverage is. I may change the 2/1 once I get into the lighter colors, just because I want to make sure there's enough room, but we'll see. So since my last video, I have done an additional 774 stitches. I'm doing color finishes. I'm working on this, I think it's $37.99, filling in some of the gray along the edge of her shirt, up here, along the edge. And in total on this whole piece, I have done 32,026 stitches for 20.12%. So that one I'm sure I'll be working on every month, even in a small capacity. And my final one to show is Fruits of Plenty. It's by Modern Folk Embroidery. It was their 2021 stitch along, I think. I just started it this year, I think, and so definitely not with the stitch along, and I just do a little bit when I pick it up. This one I'm stitching on 25 count Silvery Moon Lugana. I'm doing 1/1 full cross. Here's where I was in my last video, and I have done an additional 732 stitches. Here's where I am now. I've just been filling in this motif here. I think I might have completed the triangles too. I'm not entirely sure, but I know I've been doing the flowers and filling in the motif. So in total on this one, I have done 11,795, and I'm at 24.89%. So there'll be a story with this one when I'm talking about my plans. First, let's go through my new stuff. So I did purchase a new pattern. I got a whole bunch of floss for Creepy Christmas Village, which is coming up as another Lola Crow stitch along for Creepy Christmas ornaments, and the first one was released today. So I got all of the floss for that, and I got all of the floss for the other new starts that I had. So I threw in a pattern that was on my wish list. So this is, I'm probably going to butcher this, so I apologize, Croquette A Go-Go, and the name of the pattern is Halloween in Sita. I just love it. Probably not something I'll start until next year, but I love that orange and the purple and those colors and the different motifs. I actually originally saw it and thought, oh, I might want to stitch these as different, like stitch them separately and frame them and do like clusters for display, like a Halloween display in my front room. But I'm not sure. I might stitch it all as one piece too. I like how it's framed and outlined. So, but it's going to go, let me see if I can get it to focus better. It's probably just going to go in my pattern haul for a while, and it'll be one I probably pick up next year as I get into the Halloween spirit. Okay, and then I'm going to go through the Autumn Lane Stitchery Halloween box from this year. Really cool box. Let me show you the box, the inside of the box. Ooh. Even on the inside of the box, there's really cool artwork. So I think there's some people that might still be waiting for it internationally. So fast forward if it's not safe. This is a spoiler for you. So they do have a whole bunch of explanations of what's in here and a QR code for some additional things. They had different needle minders, which I absolutely love. I love the one I got, Camp Crystal Lake. And they released some of them on their website, but I think they sold out in like the first day. Then there's gloves in a bottle, some lotion. There's a little easel for displaying one of the patterns. And then this little thing is also for one of the patterns. I'll show the pattern. It's a frame for one of the patterns that comes in it. And then the rest is pattern. So this is one of the patterns called Evening Stroll. So it comes with all the pieces, the easel that I showed, and then the frame. And then it comes with a piece of fabric and all of the DMC that you need. Very cute. Then this one is called Trick or Treat. Ooh, apologize for the light. That would look really pretty on that purple. I like that purple. I have a purple similar in my shop that I might stitch on that one. And then this one is called Dance Party. I love this one. I just like the idea of like a witch dance party. That's so awesome for Halloween. And then the final one is called Witch's Hollow, which is probably my favorite. Just a little like scene motif with the witch flying over. But I love stitching houses and I love all the colors in this one. They're really cool on that one. That might be on next year's list of my many, many Halloween stitching, unless I just try to focus on what I've already started and try to get some of that done. Okay, and my final purchase of a pattern goes along with my plans and what I was saying a little bit about Fruits of Plenty and the Modern Folk Embroidery. So Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery showed on a video that he's released his 2024 stitch along, and it's called No Time Like the Present. And I love like clock and anything time related, and just love the way it was. I really, really was drawn to this and I really liked it. And then I thought, I really don't need another Modern Folk Embroidery right now. Let me just focus on Fruits of Plenty and see if I can get that done. And then I'm looking at it like every day going, but I love it. I really, really want it. So I was watching Cam the Stitcher's video earlier today, and she kind of had the same argument with herself. Like, I don't need another thing to start. I don't need to do another Modern Folk Embroidery when I haven't done the ones I already have. And then she just said, but then I talked myself into it basically because other people are going to do it and it's exciting to work along with them. So I think maybe she talked me into it, or I at least talked myself into it and thought, I love it. Even if I don't finish it, even if I don't work on that or Fruits of Plenty or keep up with it or anything, I'm still going to get it. I haven't decided. I did buy it, and it is gorgeous. There's a lot of different colorway options that Jacob prepares for you to show options, but I think I'm going to play with it a little bit. Cam did like a goth conversion with some variegated purple and green that looks really cool. I think I do like the idea of the purple. I really like blue, obviously. That blue would be easy to display, but I also love stitching in purple. So I think I'm going to play with some colors in Pattern Keeper and see what I can come up with. And who knows? I might use a dyed fabric too and use some lighter colors. But the world is my oyster. I think that is a plan to start. Probably not till after the new year when everybody else starts to stitch along, but that is one of the new patterns I'm purchasing. For other plans, I think between the Mugshot Villain Stitch Along and then the Lola Crow Creepy Christmas Village, and I do plan to restart Kringles, so working on that Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs on that Admirable Atticus fabric. I was stitching on it yesterday and went, oh, this is what I want to restart Kringles on. So I worked on Kringles for a couple weeks, I think. So this is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. I had started it and I'd done most of the roof line, and I'd started on the fence line and working in that kind of ecru ivory color that it calls for. And the original fabric I had it on, that ecru was just really, really blending in, and I didn't like it. So I stopped and I thought, I'm just going to figure out what I want to restart this on. So I think I am going to restart it. This is the rest of that piece of Admirable Atticus. And I think it'll look really cool on that. So I did hold up the thread colors, and it does show up for sure. So it's still pretty light, but it does show up. It is way more contrasty than what I had it on before. So now for the holiday, I think this will be like my one holiday piece for Christmas that I'm going to work on. And then other stuff will be the stitch alongs. I think that'll keep me plenty busy. I also have a smalls exchange. I'm not going to show that. I did buy a pattern for that, but I'm not going to show it because it's supposed to be like a secret smalls exchange and you're not supposed to give yourself away. So I will not be showing what I'm stitching for that, but that's something I'll be working on in the next few weeks as well. So that is actually it for what I have to show. Now I'm going to do a giveaway. I do want to give away a piece of fabric, or potentially two if I don't hear from the previous winner, from my shop. It's Those Missing Stitches on Etsy, and I have a link down below if you want to check it out. You can pick any fabric count, any fabric type, any color from my shop, and I will send you a fat quarter if you're the winner. What I would like you to do, don't say anything about giveaway or say anything about winning in your comments, but I would like to know some more about some of my viewers and what your favorite fabric is to stitch on. I'm not going to hold you to that if you're the winner, like that's what you have to pick for my shop. I just want to hear it, even if it's something I don't have in my shop. I'm curious what everybody's favorite is. I'm kind of torn between, like, I've learned on like Aida, and I enjoy stitching on 18 count Aida, but I'm also enjoying stitching, I think I enjoy more stitching on Luganas. I haven't ventured into linens yet. I have a hard time seeing on it, and I don't want to stress out my eyes any more than they're already stressed out on like the 25 and the 28 Luganas. So I probably need new glasses too, because I've been having problems again lately. So that maybe eventually, especially as I get into more samplers, but those are my favorites, and I'm excited to hear what your favorites are too. So the keyword that I want you to use for the giveaway is favorite. So if you can say my favorite fabric is to stitch on is, 18 count Aida, it's 36 count linen, whatever it is, I'm curious to know, and I will pick from the word favorite on my next video, which should be within the first few days of December. I'll pick a winner, and you can just email me at thosemissingstitches@gmail.com, which is also listed below. And I will send and pick whatever you want, and I'll send you a piece of fabric before the holidays. So that will be a nice holiday gift for you if you are the winner. So please let me know what your favorite fabric is to stitch on. And that is it for this video. Happy stitching, everyone. I hope you have a great holiday.